Good morning. Thank you for joining me for Monday morning devotion. I don't know about you, but mornings are my most productive time of the day. I like to get up early, pray, read my Bible, and make a to-do list, and then just kind of pray over the day and then get started. Before any distractions, before the phone starts dinging, before the demands of the day become a reality, it's just nice to spend time with the Lord. This habit started when I was in Bible college. I would get up at 5:30 in the morning, head up to the prayer room, pray, and then basically hit the floor running with school and classes and studying and homework and work itself and so on. And so this is a good habit, but just like any good habit, you can easily stray from it from time to time. But when I do, I quickly find out that I cannot serve God out of an empty vessel, and I need to get back to the routine of spending time with Him each day, first thing of the day. In our Bible study Wednesday night, we are studying the book of Mark. And in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 1, verse 35, it reads like this: Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. If Jesus needed time alone with God, undistracted time with the Father, so do we. If Jesus, being fully God and fully man, knew the value of a one-on-one relationship with God, how much more do we need that time alone with Him? There are several reasons that I find this to be true. And the first one is that relationships are renewed when we have one-on-one time with each other. Just think about married life. A couple can get so busy with work and school and children and ministry and so on that they become like two ships in the night and barely spending any time or quality time, anytime with each other except to say goodnight and then to get up the next day and start the whole rat race over again. Simply ceasing all activity and leaving the chores and the children and the home and all the chaos of work, etc., and spending time with each other for a date night is so important, because when they do that, they rekindle their relationship and they find out why they were attracted to each other in the first place, and they just rebuild and renew each time they do that. So if it's so important for us in a married life, just think how much more it is important to us as children of the King and having that relationship with our Heavenly Father. If we neglect our relationship with each other and with Jesus, our relationship can be cold and become stale over time. And so a renewal time where we sit at God's feet and we share our concerns, we listen to His voice while we read His word and just meditate on His word, that relationship is renewed. Second point is these relationships require planning, just like planning a babysitter to come while you go out on a date, or all the planning that goes into having a getaway vacation. Spending time with God requires some planning, like what time to set the alarm and where am I going to sneak off to pray, and what am I going to read? Do I need a devotional book? I know of a couple if you need one. And just having a plan of what you're going to do during that devotional time. Letting alone time naturally happen does not mean that it's naturally going to happen. Having a plan of when and how and what works best for me and setting an alarm to get up before everyone else is what I need to do in order to have that time to build my relationship with Jesus Christ. Third point, relationships require consistency. There are several instances in the Gospels that recorded Jesus getting alone with God. This was a habit for him. He went to the synagogue. He took time to get alone and pray. Even right before his crucifixion, Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. My fourth point, relationship with God requires persistence. That doesn't mean that it's easy to do. You can make every excuse in the book why you're too tired to crawl out of bed or whatever, to abandon something that you know that's really important for you to do. In my first book, Encounters with Jesus by the Water, in lesson 5, I wrote about how Jesus in Matthew chapter 14 wanted to get alone with God, but because he had just found out that John the Baptist was beheaded, and he was trying to get away, but the crowds followed him. And so just like our day follows us, and the Bible tells us that he had compassion on the crowds, so he ministered to them, and then he fed the 5,000. But later that day, at the end of the day, Jesus sends the crowd away. He sends his disciples away on a boat, and he separates himself to pray. The next thing we read in Matthew chapter 14 is how Jesus is walking on the water in the middle of the storm to rescue his disciples and to teach them a lesson on faith. This leads me to my next point. A relationship with God prepares us for the next storm in life. Before the storm, the middle of the storm, after the storm, we need the presence of God and the blessing of God in our life. Without God in my life, I can tell you that I would not handle all the things that life throws at me very well. And I need to be prepared by spending time with him on a regular basis. So when those things come, I can quickly get into his presence and find the solace and the comfort and the strength and the direction that I need. So I encourage you to take care of yourself. Take care that you build a strong relationship with God. Renew your devotional life with a plan to set aside a time without distractions to be alone with God. Be consistent in that devotional life. Be persistent that you keep that devotional life so that you can be ready for the storms of life. Having alone time with God will also give you the assurance and the confidence that you are never alone, that he is with you. May you have a blessed week. I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Be sure to like, comment, or share. And feel free to visit my website, candyporostowski.com. Thank you so much. You have a great week.